Hey guys, I have an for Day here with another episode of Ultimate Tip 4. I think this is the ninth episode. No, it's like only the seventh. Either way, this is White Hole. This is a bit of a weird level. Um, the entire gist of it is, well, there's stuff that you can't get to. Aw, I almost got away with that. And obviously in the corners there's try using everything at your disposal this time, as you saw at the end of the previous video. So I'm trying to remember the gist of this level. So I think I need to get to that red button. And that will probably do something down there. All the blue walls are fake, so it's not a problem. Why did I do it that way? I am the smart player. Now let's do this right this time. Let's see, put this here, and we'll partial post that. And with the block, now I can nail across, no problem, and then nail back. So technically you can do the headbanger rule, but you're not supposed to because you need that way back. Let's flip the tank. And see where else we can go. So I can change the toggles here and get back out. In MS, obviously, I wouldn't need to do that. So this lets me hit this trap button, which does reverse the tank, which I can force through, and it is cloning something. So let's block slide that. This is a really weird and confusing level. Okay, so we have a block over here still. Let's just put it on the trap button. I can still get it back. With the yellow key, I can get... Okay, so with the trap button, I can get this chip. With the yellow key, I can get that. For the red key, and then I have one block. So what can I do with my one block? Well, I can get skates from the red key, which lets me, get these chips and survive getting them. Obviously, like, not strictly necessary, because you can do some really silly boosting to do it anyway, but it's worth noting. Man, this level has really bizarre progression. So I have all the chips now, is that it? Looks like I still need another block. Where can I get that block? Can I get it from over here? It looks like I can extract this block. I can't get back from down there. There is actually a bust in this level, using the crazy boosting nonsense, that allows you to essentially break into this part by nailing a block on the fire. I'm not going to be doing that. Oh my gosh! This is one of the best cooks I've ever experienced. I'm not mad at all.
Bummer.
Alright, let's do this right. No, I said let's do this right. Oh, this level, though. This is one of those levels that's just a little weird. I supposed to extract my block from here now, actually? I mean, I can do so, so I will, just so I don't have to worry about it. Oh, wait, no, right. What I do next is flip you, release you, and force you through. Force you through, and now I have 2 blocks here. Oh, I missed the block slide. Okay, so let's drop that there. And do it right this time. So red key, we know the red key gives the skates. The skates give, well, those chips and the other stuff down here. And gives me an easy extraction on that block. So both blocks, all the chips, I can finally finish White Hole. I like this level. I think it's a really cool level. It's just a very neat idea, very neat execution on it, taking advantage of what the level structure allows. It's a little obtuse, but I think it's the fair kind of obtuse. Speaking of obtuse, Disruptor is a little obtuse.
Bummer.
And this start is not exactly the nicest bit of design. Because you do have to do that with the walker, and then wait for it to go blow up. I guess now's a good time to talk about how I like the aesthetic of double thin walls. I think they can look really cool in a lot of places. The original MS tile set, not so much, but in Tile World, it looks pretty good. Anyway, we disrupt the Paramecia there. And now we're going to go use this teeth to disrupt the gliders. And use the teeth to get the fireball dead. And then the teeth is still stuck, and I'm trying to remember what to do. It looks like my only option is to go through here. And then... okay, then I can get these flippers, and then my only option is to go through here. And the flippers let me go up here. Ooh, this part's a little mean. Because once I hit this toggle, it's going to release the teeth. Okay, now I can't just go through here, get the green key, reverse the tank, and be released by the teeth, and then I just go wee on this little ice slide. This is the kind of level that I just randomly built. I don't think I was supposed to hit that button twice. Fortunately, I can just boost my way out of trouble. And I do like that trick. That's a really neat trick. And then, hope you're paying attention to how the level was laid out, so you can finish the level. Alright, so Disruptor was almost in CCLP4. This is a bit of a funny story. Josh went into the pushover shuffling talk in his LP of CCLP4, but I think it's worth noting that though we kept going back and forth and just discussing it, I think that was the most contentious discussion we had. Followed by Frozen Over's time limit. The thing is, for a brief moment, we actually had neither pushover nor shuffling in the set, so no capstone block shuffling level. And instead, we had Disruptor as the safe, agreeable choice that nobody really disliked. Now, since it was my level being put in, I was really the only one in a position who could say, hey guys, this is stupid, it shouldn't be Disruptor. Just because we can't agree on one difficult block shuffling level doesn't mean we shouldn't have one. And since I favored pushover, I think that was why it was pushover over shuffling in the end. So Disruptor can be considered honorable CCLP4 candidate number 150 in a way that no other level really can. There are other levels, such as Wastelands of Tabora, and I think Josh had a few that almost made it in, but I'm remembering my own more, that were very close candidates that didn't quite make the cut. So this is optimization theory. This is like, haha, what if I made not? I mean, it's a level. If you liked not, you'll probably not like this because it doesn't have the elegance of not. That boost actually saves no time. Also, because this is a Lynx compatible level, I had to keep the the time limit fairly lenient. So yeah, 15 with some mistakes and a bad route. It's a level. So Blazing Islands Whirlwind Tour. This is a funny one because if you've ever heard of sequel levels, this is actually a sequel level. So most people probably haven't played Ultimate Chip 2. But if you have, you'll remember there's a level called Blazing Isles. And the thing about Blazing Isles is that, or no, I think it was Blazing Islands, is that it was a pretty solid level. There's some interesting puzzles in it, I think. But ultimately, and this is so side note, I hate this now. I do completely regret this section. I thought I handled it well. I didn't actually. I don't think it can be handled that well. Anyway, this was a sequel to Blazing Island. In spirit only, but it's a cool level. It's just, what if I put fire everywhere? And a lot of my levels do stem from, what if I did this obvious thing? So now I've got to figure out what to do with this stuff. The bug in this room had to be used on the bomb. I know that. Oh wait, no, duh, I'm an idiot. See, this ice is actually a little confusing. So this gives me the toggle button, and I can come down here and use this block on this bomb. And then I have access to this Walker L, which gives me suction boots. And the suction boots let me get the yellow key, and the yellow key lets me go back into the Walker, which I want to deal with now. Oh, that was a 50% chance of death because I misjudged it. I always cringe mentally when I see someone else not trying to call you out, Josh, but I have seen you get into those 50-50 death spots before, and I just cringe because I see the chance of death, and then it usually doesn't happen, but when it does, it's like, ah! And yeah, that is almost a call out, isn't it? It's not meant to be. Okay, so this is the Blazing Isles part, because there is another isle here, and this puzzle is probably not that tricky. I have no options here, no options here, no options. And again, no real options. Okay. This looks more imposing than it is. So I'm going to blow up that bomb, even though I don't think I need to, and try to work out how to deal with this. Okay, so that block goes to this bomb. This one goes here. This force lure exists as a shortcut. And then I can loop around to get to this chip. Now I've only got one left, and we know it's behind the recessed walls earlier in the level. So that is not yet Blazing Isles Whirlwind Tour. We're not done yet. There's one more step, and this is why I like this level. There's flippers here. The flippers are always two blocks of water, 2 tiles of water away. Fortunately, we have access to 2 blocks from this island here. And this is one of those cool little moments I like. Just dual-purpose design. It's a puzzle of getting them out of the way, and then you just reuse them later. Neither are really that puzzly, but it's a really nifty little section. And then the exit is down here under this block, because of course it's under this block. So that's Blazing Isles Whirlwind Tour. Ah, BattleBlob Theater. Do I go for it? Oh well. This is BattleBlob Theater. it's a blob level. Heavily, heavily inspired by BattleBlob Theater. So you can see this little exit construction here. 3 red keys are enough to beat the level, but you need 7 red keys and the yellow key in order to, well, truly get the hint. And I'm going to try and get to the hint. So we're going to wait for 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. So those mime the lasers in BattleBlob Theater. And I do need the other block up here. So, like, I can already almost beat the level. If I remember right, this section is the hardest part of the level, so I want to get it out of the way first.
Bummer.
No! I thought I wasn't going to push. Crap. Okay, so we're going to do this first. This is not an easy level. It's actually not too hard to just beat. But actually getting all the keys is a challenge. And I have done it before. And when I released this level, some people actually thought that it was busted that you didn't need all the keys. It's like, no, that was fully intended. So the yellow key mimes the yarn in BattleBlob Theater. Usually for a harder to complete challenge, in this case, this 4 blob room. And the reds are, well, they are... In BattleBlob Theater, the gems are green. And there are hidden passages, too. Not quite invisible wall fumbling, but close enough. But in the user levels for BattleBlob Theater, it's not gems, so you can't buy things with stuff from user levels. Instead, you get... what do you get? You get strawberries. And yes, they are actually strawberries. No, wait, no, run in front, run in front. Okay, that's a little mean, even with the amount of time given. And then I just have to wait for the blob. Of course, I picked the wrong trap. Okay, so random walker, because, you know, it's fitting. Thematically. I'm not liking this. Okay, do I need to teleport down? How many more do I still need? I still need 3. I don't think I have to... Oh, I didn't do this room yet. So this room is an interesting one. Okay, and then I just loop around here, get this last red key, teleport up. Can you get the best time? I can and have 1 billion times over. I'm also a pathological liar. Or am I? I am. What's going on? I don't know. Or do I? What? And that is a direct quote from BattleBlob Theater. I am not making this up. That is word for word a quote from BattleBlob Theater. With inflections. Don't believe me? Go get the game. It's a cool platformer. And I am happy that I was able to complete the full path on that in very few attempts. So here's Temple of Arranging. Again, there's the whole little temple theme I had going, which I think is stupid now. And this is a puzzle type that I do very much like. Everything's the sucker band where everything starts in its final location and you just have to figure out how to get it back. So there's a pretty ridiculous shuffle method that I think everybody who has it yasked, which I think everybody who has it is JB and I. Okay, so I'm actually going to do this so I can have a quicker loop. However, I know there's a nice, easy, casual method of beating this level. So I'm just setting it up one row at a time. As you can see, I'm just putting the blocks. Okay, see, this is where things get a little trickier almost. Not really. So I'm just aligning the blocks so that all I have to do is push them up one row at a time. I can put that one into place. Put this one up. Not quite into place yet. I think I could have, but it's not worth it. Up, 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 and then do the same for this row, and then the fourth row, and then the bottom block. I like the symmetry here, and I think it's a neat little puzzle, but 900 seconds, it's not that hard past me. It's really not that hard. Nexus, on the other hand, is a level that was built to be a little deceitful. It has a really sick bold route. Like, it is a legitimately cool route, just because, well, let's put it this way. That takes less setting up than you might think. And of course, here's some pointless mechanism to make you think that, hey, these gliders are going to clone. How do you figure that out? So basically, now you've got 12 blocks to guide 6 monsters, except you don't. Because it's water, you can just do that and get to these T-chips. That was that was not intended when I originally started building the level, but I realized that I couldn't actually set it up the way I wanted to. So, like, it wouldn't work. I couldn't build it. The mechanism wouldn't work. So instead I just made it so you used a block. So this is Inner Spaces. This is an interesting level where I just slapped down some squares of varying sizes around the map and filled them up with stuff. So you start in a 1x1, you enter a 2x2 for a red key, and you get this block for the from the 3x3, use it to enter the 4x4, which if I remember right. Yeah, let's do the really long block loop around the 9x9. Why not? And I think this is a neat level. I never expected it to really have a good shot at being well liked, but it had an outside chance of CCLP4 inclusion. Of course, given its theming, it's not exactly the best level. Hang on a moment, this is tricky timing. I always have trouble timing overrides on sideways force floors. The timing just feels unnatural to me. So here's a little shuffling puzzle that's not really difficult at all. It's a neat one though, because it's basically just reversing the setup. And note the placement of this, you can push blocks out, but you can't do anything with the blocks once they're pushed out. So, no, there's not a bust of being able to skip this blue wall section. So, this is something I've noticed over time. Variety levels tend to have an arbitrary blue wall section. Whether they should or not, they tend to. And I'll go into that more when I get to one particular level later on. If James is watching this, he already knows because I've mentioned it to him. But it is everything I consider the uninspired campaign level. It's just every section in that level is what you would expect it to be. And why do I have an extra block? Do I need that for anything? Anyway, this part is interesting enough. Just go with the flow. I'm pretty sure I need that block up at the exit. Yep, there's a bomb right here. And that gives me Inner Spaces done. So how to retune your harp is a CCLP4 level, because, I don't know, it's a cool concept. It's also a lot of, I hope you don't dislike slide delay going on here. Because there is a lot of slide delay in this level. I like the aesthetics. I like the level even. I just slide delay everywhere. Yeah, it's all right. It's more aesthetics than anything. And there's some way to horribly break this level and save 20 seconds ish with slide delay, and I haven't looked into finding it yet. This is probably the hardest to execute CCLP4 build I am still lacking. I have all the really hard stuff, like frozen waffle and blended Brussels sprouts, which are both my levels. Yay, screw me, right? I also have Split Path by Zane, which is another one of the nasty ones. And Gravity Well, which, hey, guess what? That's also by me. I mean, so this is where I'm going to go on a bit of a tangent while I'm just moving these blocks. There's not much to talk about while moving the blocks. Even though I optimize levels... oh, why is my throat bothering me? So even though I optimize levels, and I'll even do custom levels, I don't really care about execution difficulty or routing difficulty when designing a level. For the most part, every once in a while I'll throw something in where I pay attention to it. But on principle, I think that focusing on anything other than the casual play experience tends to weaken a level's casual play experience. Tends to, doesn't always. And so, even though these are some pretty ridiculous levels to actually optimize, I don't particularly care because they're interesting levels in their own right to play. So, gravity well required force floors everywhere. So what? And that's how to retune your harp. Where the color brown is made is just a maze where you push blocks onto traps. Not a big deal. So, even though I optimize, I know Josh has taken a bit of a I don't optimize, so okay, and made Underground Optimization Derby, which is just a blatant optimization level. But the thing is, that's just a traveling salesman problem with some extra stuff. That's not the most interesting kind of level to optimize, and that is a little bit of a misnomer almost. That people who don't focus on the optimizing just is like, oh yeah, optimizing, you're just doing the routes and you're boosting everywhere. That's what optimizing is. And though execution and boosting do end up being large parts, especially if you're going for CC1, pretty much anything in CCLP 3 or 4 or even 1 is less about execution and more about finding the route, looking for the route, looking at the level, just critically understanding it, pruning down every step that isn't required, and then also making sure that the steps you're doing are done as efficiently as possible. And there can be some very surprising tricks involved, so hopefully James doesn't murder me for this, but automatic caution doors, the public route, which is an 824 that I added to it, the public TWS, because hey, I think that should be public. It's not too hard to find. There's one uh, there's one tricky trick, I guess, that you can catch with the chips. But then there's another thing that gets you the bold. So I'm going to play self-replicating structures as the last level of this video. Wow, I am good at game. I am really good at game. Oh my gosh, I am so good at this game. Hey, I got one. Yay. Spent too much time playing Blockbuster lately where you don't want to interrupt this. Alright, at least that was nice enough to give access to 4 cloners. Cool. Alright, so now for the dodging. You can die there and it's a little annoying, but whatever. So this is the core of self-replicating structures. This section right here with the fireballs. This I'm really proud of building. Because this is not multiple streams. This is all one stream of fireballs. See? It's all one stream. And getting it to stay synced in both MS and links took a bit of a mechanism. Just a bit of one. And now we enter this top section which has some blobs. Because, hey, they probably self-replicate. And if you're wondering what this chip layout is, I wanted to have something memorable from Conway's Game of Life. Because that was kind of... it's the 1/4 chance of death thing. That was kind of, the inspiration. There's a self-replicating structure there. What can I do with that? And so I think I tried fitting the Gosper glider gun in, but ended up not being able to. So I just put in just chips in shapes that matched, and added some gliders, and called it a level. It's okay. Reversal of Fortunes is another level in the vein of Disruptor, where it's just I had a starting point and I built out, and I feel like playing it now. It's a fun one. Because that trick. That is the core of the level. That trick. I was like, you can totally do that. I'm building a level around it. Is that a good way to... Is that a good reason to build a level? No. That is not good.
Bummer.
But yeah, you bounce off, you bounce back. And the rest of the level just kind of fills space. 2, 3. With the blue key, I have the skates, which gives me access to back up here. Yeah, I was going to stop here, but it's like, do I want to? Not really, no. Gives me the red key, which gives me this slide here. Which this is one of the most trite and uninspired sections of any level in this set, I think. You have a nice slide, and then you just collect stuff around it. Woo! Exciting! Especially coming after, what do you call it? Yeah, especially coming after, what is the name of that level? Self-replicating structure. See, even though I just played it, it's kind of bland. I do like this outside section, how you pass through these recessed walls to get a key. Like, I think that's pretty neat. And you can pass back through the inside and finish the level. So I think the ending is cool. I just think that the ice slide, I could have done something more interesting there. But, it's a level. Hot Springs is another one with a weird inspiration. I'll go into that in the next video, whenever that is. So, thanks for watching, and later. That was a bit of a ramble.